This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Thursday, March 14th of 2024. We're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, we have our very own Andy Petersen bringing us a segment with Adam Keil to talk about the Soil and Water Outcome Fund. But first, let's take a look at the closing markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're here with Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. First off, Kaden, we had the export sales today. How did that affect the grain markets?
Yeah, really a little bit backwards, I guess, from my opinion. Export sales this morning really were pretty good. They fell within range, but on the stronger side of the range for corn, especially. Another strong week. Beans are okay. They're also falling in the range. But after those came out, beans took off this morning. We were up 20 at one point, and then a pretty big reversal. We're going to close about even or so. So 20 cents off the highs. Corn never really got too much footing in the grain, even though they had strong export sales. They're going to close down about 7 on the May contract. So overall, a little bit of a disappointing day on the nearbys for corn and beans both.
And then just looking at the export sales and, the trend we've seen recently, because last week actually looked pretty decent, and you look at WASD and everything as well. At this point, are we just kind of looking at it, especially on the bean side, where it's like, if it's not bad, it's probably good?
I think you're spot on, especially with Brazil, right in the middle of their harvest, even getting towards the end. That huge crop has hit the market. That's where China's been doing most of their business on the bean side. So yeah, beans, anything positive really is a good number, and I'm half joking there. But on the corn side, like you said, been pretty strong. Mexico had another sale from us this week. We just are not really having the Chinese demand. Once again, they're taking most of their business to South America, and that just kind of puts a cap on our market. Our corn demand is certainly, or at least I should say corn exports, certainly better than bean exports on a relative basis, but just not quite good enough, especially with the big crop that we had last year to really get the market pushing too much higher again, to be threatening $5 again.
And of course, we didn't really talk much about the wheat markets, since we're just corn and soybeans here in Iowa, but a lot of cancellations there as well when you speak of the activity from China. Now, were these sales they've been sitting there for a while and then all of a sudden they were canceled, or what was kind of the timeline for that? Because it feels pretty sudden for all these cancellations to come in.
It did feel sudden, and I think it took the market by surprise because last week, we were down pretty hard back-to-back days when the first day when the rumor came out, the second day when it was confirmed, kind of clawed back some, and now we're back down to the lows of when those announcements came out. So yeah, I definitely think it took the market by surprise. I think at this point it's close to 1 million metric tons that have been canceled, which is obviously a pretty big deal. So definitely caught the wheat market by surprise. We're back down 530, 535 level on May Chicago wheat, a new crop for July, not too much better. So that definitely took a toll on the wheat market for sure. Like you said, I think as much as it caught us by surprise, I think it caught the market by surprise as well.
And then looking at the livestock side of things, how did cattle and hogs fare today?
Yeah, cattle pretty weak, although they remain in their sideways trade. So I guess I'm not overly concerned about it yet until we break that support. But live cattle down close to $3 today, and feeders down 4. So struggling to get fresh blood in there as far as making a move higher. But again, that sideways trend has been continuing to hold. I think you're just waiting for a breakout one way or another and trade it from that point. Hogs on the day, a little bit higher, still below 85. You know what? I think hogs still probably have room to come down. I think we're going to wind up more in that 80 to 82 level by the time April comes around. But overall livestock, I'm not overly concerned. Nothing real scary out there. Although I do think hogs feel a bit heavier than cattle right now.
Well, we see Easter early this year. Feels like spring is early this year as well. So that demand is coming in pretty early too, right?
Yeah, demand been going to be coming back in, especially it sounds silly to say, but the nice weather we've had here in the Midwest certainly helping. I assume people will grill now a little bit earlier, but still, to me, the bigger story in livestock as we continue to talk about supply, just quite a bit shorter than we have been the last couple of years. I think that's gonna continue to offer support to this market, continue to hold up, especially on the cattle side.
All right, Caden, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Yeah, just go to our website, agmarket.net, and you can reach anyone from our team there, including myself. We've had a nice rally here finally in corn market and beans as well, today notwithstanding. But if you're wondering what to do with it or kind of putting a plan together for 24, don't be afraid to reach out.
Great talking with you as always, Caden, and we look forward to catching up again soon.
Yeah, sounds good, Riley. I appreciate it.
That again was Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. Let's take a look at how the numbers closed through the market window at iowaagnet.com.
May corn down 7.5 at 433 3/4. May soybeans down 1.5 at 11.95 1/4. May soybean meal up $1 at 337.40. May soybean oil down 18 cents at 48.39. Chicago wheat down 12 even at 532 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 12 3/4 at 574 3/4. Minneapolis spring wheat down 8 1/4 at 655 1/4. May oats down 1.5 at 371 1/2. On the Merc, April live cattle down 297 at 186.95. March feeders down 280 at 247.47. April lean hogs up 15 at 85.02. April pork cutout went unchanged at 92.60. And March Class 3 milk down 7 cents at 16.45.
And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, we have that featured conversation with Andy Petersen. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Our very own Andy Petersen brought us a conversation today with Adam Keil to talk about the Soil and Water Outcomes Fund and how it's celebrating 5 years of being in action and some of the takeaways they've had from that.
Big news here, 5th year of farmer enrollments, and you're expanding now into your 28th state?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to think about something that started in Iowa 5 years ago on 9,000 acres of farmland is now 28 states looking to enroll, nearly 1 million acres this year. So quite a growth that we've seen, and really excited to start enrolling farmers for 2024.
So what are you asking farmers to do, or what's the field level look like? Because you've been involved in research and development of the soybean crop for a long time.
Yeah, so this is really focused on kind of the way farmers farm and producing environmental outcomes in addition to a commodity crop. So what we're trying to do here is connect farmers with a value opportunity for sustainability practices. So what farmers have the opportunity to do with the Soil and Water Outcomes Fund is get some financial payment for producing outcomes, much like they get a payment for soybeans they produce. So we've got partnerships lined up that include Cargill, PepsiCo, Target, many different companies that use crops more broadly than just soybeans as well. So we're working on corn, soybeans, wheat, sugar beets, not all in Iowa, but across the Midwest, across the 28 states. And farmers can get compensated for environmental outcome production. So kind of a interesting approach, and farmers have really been happy with the program thus far over the past 4 years, and we see really high re-enrollment rates. I think 92% year on year farmers re-enroll. So really excited about that, and really excited about the growth opportunity as well.
Yeah, suggests that high of enrollment number, that certainly the value is there. So talk a little bit about these climate programs that are out there. It seems like they're increasing. Adam, what makes this one unique?
Yeah, they are definitely increasing. And there's a couple of unique things about what we do that I think are good for farmers to know is one is we've got all of the purchase commitments lined up with our partners before we even talk to a farmer in a year. So for 2024, we've got contracts with all of our partners that provide the financial assistance to farmers. So we can guarantee farmer payment as long as they follow through with what they've agreed to do with us. And really, when it comes to a farmer's actions, it's up to them what they want to do. So if they want to do reductions in tillage, that's great. If they want to do that and cover crops, that's fantastic. But we're not prescribing one practice over the other. It's really a farmer's choice on what they want to do. The one key thing is that it's got to be an expansion of a practice or adding a new practice. So that's the one requirement on year one, and then from there it's farmers maintaining that practice, or they can add more in future years and potentially get a higher payment if they so choose.
How do we learn more, Adam?
Yeah, the best way is to go to our website, www.theoutcomesfund.com. Farmers can create an account there. They'll be connected with one of our field staff. And from there, it tends to be a short sit-down meeting or a phone conversation with one of our staff, and make sure that farmers are the right fit, and helping them with enrollment from there. So that's the suggested process.
The exciting part about this, for me at least, is the buy-in that you're seeing from your downstream partners. How are they able to utilize this this data and this advance in farming practices when it relates to their operations?
Yeah, so all of our partners that we've got relationships built with have commitments to work with agriculture. They also have their own internal commitments that they're working on, increasing efficiencies and being more sustainable in their own operations. But when it comes to farmers, they all have a relationship with farmers that, frankly, I didn't know about until I started digging into some of these companies and their value chains. You look at a company like Target Corporation, and you don't think about, the connection that it has to farmers, but there is a strong connection there, and they've committed to supporting farmers in being more sustainable, and they've opened up their checkbooks to do so. So it's a great way for farmers to connect with their downstream partners and those that utilize the crops that farmers produce, and get some value for sustainability. So that's the unique thing that we've built that is really a good opportunity that wasn't there a few years ago when we started this, but it's just continued to grow.
Obviously, we talk food, fuel, and fiber, and a lot of what Target sells relates to that, and it's nice to see that connection be strengthened as well. Adam, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for your great work and taking a few minutes to visit with us today.
Great. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
And that again was Adam Keil of Ag Outcomes. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Ag Matters PM. Thanks again for tuning in. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free Twice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Petersen, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.